Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ed Hutchinson, this is my channel, and I am sitting here on January 2nd, 2024, giving you my real estate predictions for the year. Now guys, as I said, it's January, and I thought if it's the start of a new year, it's probably a good idea just to give predictions now so that we can kind of follow if I'm correct or if I'm wrong throughout this year and see if actually the market is going to follow the trends that I'm predicting. Now, what I am thinking is going to happen this year is we are going to actually see an increase in prices. So houses that are selling are going to go for more money than they were in the previous year. So the reason that I think that is, I think it's obviously, as it always is in real estate, is a demand supply balance. Now, we saw, if you're not aware, in 2023, a record low of transactions in sales going through. The reason for this is the increase in mortgage rates. Now, that was a twofold effect, and I think a lot of people actually thought that the result would be a crash in the real estate market, prices dropping massively as people needed to pay more and more to get a loan. Now, in the US, and I think this is a very, very clever model in a way. Now I've kind of seen how this plays out. You normally can get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So that means when you buy a house and you say, I need to borrow $200,000 to do that, and they say, right, I'm going to give you a mortgage rate at 4%, you are paying that 4% for 30 years, and that is locked in on that amount. It is not a flexible mortgage. You can get those as well, where it is tracking the base rate of the Fed. And therefore, as those interest rates go up, your mortgage payment is going up each month. Now, that happens a lot more in the UK. And in the UK, you have a 5-year fixed rate, which I think actually is much more of an issue in terms of fluctuations in the real estate market. I'm going to go into what I think the UK side of that is going to look like in another video. So if you would like to see that, please like, subscribe, put a comment below. But what I am going to say is I think that 30 years, and the reason that we saw no drop off in prices really in 2023 is that yes, there were less people wanting to buy houses. However, there were a lot less people wanting to sell houses. If you were living in your house and you would like a bigger house, so you need to sell that house, effectively pay off your mortgage and then go and get another mortgage for a new purchase. It's not just, oh, wait, because I'm getting an extra $200,000, I'm paying double what I was. It is, wait, I'm getting $400,000 now, and that is four or twice the rate, 4 times the rate, twice the rate that I was paying previously. And so therefore it's like me borrowing $800,000 as opposed to the 200 that I'm on. So a drastic increase in terms of the monthly payments that you're going to be paying, obviously the cost of living, etc. So we saw those prices hold steady. We had a lot less buyers in the market, but we had so many fewer transactions. And I think actually for real estate agents, it had become a real issue, and it continues to right now, because real estate agents in the US generally are self-employed. It means they earn commission on each sale. And so therefore, the more sales they're doing at the bigger prices, the more money they're making. Now, if they're doing big prices, it's great. But if you're doing one transaction a year, that maybe is not what you need to survive or have your career paying you in order to, do what you're wanting to do with your life. So what I think is going to happen, as we saw 2 weeks ago in middle of December, is we saw a slight decrease in the Fed's interest rates. Now, we were predicting this, or I was predicting it based on information that I'd got from mortgage brokers, from financial experts in that space. Because we saw the reduction in inflation, they were going to eventually do that, or that's what we were expecting. And so we've seen the start of that. And the Fed this time have actually been, in my opinion, very good, where they're giving almost a forecast of what they're going to do in terms of interest rates. They're not kind of leaving it up as like, what are we going to do? It's a Wednesday. Are we going to drop the rate massively? Are we going to increase it by 2%? They're kind of saying, look, we're going to do a steady increase and then a steady decrease. I don't think we're ever going to see the rates that we saw in 2020 and 2021, where you were seeing a record amount of transactions, a massive rise in prices, because you probably will not be able to get that 2.5% for some people mortgage that you got back then. So, what does this mean? I think that we are going to see an increase in sellers, because there are people that need to sell their home. There are people that may have put it off for 18 months. I've just had a second kid, for instance. I think we've got enough space in my house, luckily, to have my 2 kids in here. But I do think if I had another kid, I would be a bit squeezed in and I'd probably need to find a bigger space. So you're going to have those life change inflections on what is going to happen in terms of people selling their houses. And as time goes on, I think that's going to be greater and greater. The other thing I think is going to happen is that you will have people who will who will see my predicted increase in prices, and if it's not a property that they are needing to sell to buy another property, i.e., it's an investment property, it's a house that is something they don't need. If it's a death in the family, they're selling an asset. Then that could be something that will now come to the market because I think that those prices are going to start increasing again. So I think that that will be there. You will see a steady increase in supply. But what I also think is you're going to see a much greater increase in demand. Now, there have been a lot of buyers, as I said, in the last 2 years who have thought, you know what? I don't know if interest rates right now I can afford what I'd like to live in. I'm going to stay put. I'm going to rent my property or I'm going to stay in the house that I'm in now. So therefore, we did not see the same demand that we've previously seen. Now, that is going to, again, it's going to be a situation where that gets built up. It gets built up. People need to move. They want to buy their house. So I think that effect in people's head is, oh, wait, I'm not going to get that same rate again. I need to get used to the fact that I'm not going to get that same rate again. So as these rates start to come down, you know what, I'm going to buy my house. And so I think that there are going to be more buyers jumping into the market than there are sellers. So hence, there's an increased demand, there's a slight increase in supply, there will be more people wanting to buy, therefore prices will get driven up. As an example of that, I bought this house that I'm sitting in now in the end of 2021, really hot real estate market, and we were competing against 7 buyers. There were 7 different bids on this house. Luckily we got it and I love my house so much, but I paid over market value to get that house. Right now, I'm pretty happy about that situation because actually I'm not looking to sell the house soon and I am paying a rate which is significantly lower than what I could get now. So even though I paid more for the house, I would not be able to buy this house again with what my income is, etc. It just wouldn't be able to be possible. So I can live in this house now, even if I think I paid too much for it, and I've got a 30-year period where if I don't need more space or I don't need to sell it, I can remain here. So I think that that is going to be an increase. We're going to see more of that happening. You're going to see more buyers who are competing for less properties. You may see multiple bids on those properties. Hence, those prices will start to creep up again. Now, what degree this happens is going to be interesting. The Fed have indicated again that they're going to continue to drop rates over the next 6 months, 9 months. I think, again, that's going to be a 1/4% at a time, maybe, or less. Probably not less, but it's not going to be like 0.5% or 1% coming down. So I think that there will be more and more buyers who think, you know what? I think that the prices of my mortgage are coming down. Maybe I'm going to buy a house. And what I'm going to do is once I've bought it and lock in my mortgage, I'm going to refinance that mortgage. Now, what that means is you can go to that bank and you can say, look, I've got this amount of money I'm borrowing. I'm paying this interest rate. Can you beat it? And if they say, you know what, we can give you a lower interest rate for the same amount of money, their monthly payments are going to come down. And so there are, I think, a lot of savvy people who look at it and they think, you know what, it's going to be tight for me this month, but I'm very confident that that those interest rates are going to come down. Therefore, in 6 months, that payment that I'm paying is going to be less, and I'm going to beat the demand in that situation. I don't give anyone financial advice on this channel, and so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I've started saying to my clients who are buyers that, look, if you are looking to buy that $3 million house that you were looking at before, you need to accept you can't afford that anymore. You may be able to get a $2 million house because that is now what you're going to get approved for with the current interest rates. And it may be tight or more than you were going to pay for a $3 million house. However, what do you think is going to happen as interest rates come down? What would you do in that situation? What would your friends do who are looking to buy a house? And so a lot of my clients have become aware of that and have said, look, you know what? There's a good saying that one of my team leaders in my real estate company here has said to me, which is you need to date the mortgage, marry the house. So if you marry the house, you commit to that house, but you're dating the mortgage, you're basically saying, I'm going to effectively, not commit to this mortgage forever. I'm going to kind of test the waters. Sorry, it's a bit of a weird analogy to be giving in that way. But I think that that is something that probably quite a few buyers are going to do. And so that is just going to increase and increase. Again, the demand, the supply will increase with that. But I think that the prices are going to go up. And so that is going to be my prediction for 2024. Obviously, it's going to be market dependent, but this is in the US. This is a general national look at residential real estate. And so I'd love to know if you guys agree, you disagree. What's going to be interesting is I'm going to track this prediction over the next 12 months. I'm here Monday to Friday, every single day, giving you guys a little video just about what's going on in real estate, what I'm seeing, what I think is going to happen. So if you find this content interesting, you would like to follow along, please have a subscribe or hit that subscribe button, as they say in a lot of videos. Leave a like would be amazing. Comment, it all helps getting the video, the channel out there to more people. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow, which is January 3rd. See you then. Goodbye.